Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Fuego.
And I'm Brian Gatto.
That's right, we have twice the Horror Show power this time. We've got Horror Show Entertainment and us here at the Horror Show channel, here to talk about a movie that Fuego and I have long been anticipating ever since the last installment came out. Oh man.
Wow.
Unfortunately,
Fortunately.
God damn it, I wish that it was not this way. So, all right, we're going to do this review like usual. We'll talk about our overall thoughts, and we'll talk about the story, the acting, the effects, everything in turn. So, I'm going to start this one off and say I am so pissed. This is my least favorite Tremors movie. I think this is the worst one they've done. I think it was horrible on the dialogue level. I think the effects were cheesy as hell and sparse at best. And I was not a fan of this movie at all. Fuego?
I think my expectations were too high because I'd loved the last one, and changing continents and bringing in Jamie Kennedy and everything. The comedy hit in the last one. I don't think any of it really hit in this one. This felt like a rushed attempt, like you and I were talking about right after we got done watching it. Man, the dialogue was bad, acting was hammy. It just didn't feel like it had the inspiration like the previous one did.
Every female scientist was gorgeous. It's like, Jesus, come on.
There's more women than there are guys at the facility.
Yeah. All right. So Fuego, no fan either.
This one, I was like, as I was watching it, and as the turd was like, you know, circling the bowl and about to go down the drain, I was basically like, is this worse than Back to Perfection? And I think I'm gonna agree with you that it was, man.
Yep, and I hated the Ass Blaster one, and this was just, God. Anyway, Brian.
You got one Ass Blaster for whatever reason.
Yeah, your thoughts, Brian.
I might have to agree with you. This is the worst one, but it's not a bad movie per se, because I love every Tremors movie. But like, if you look at the MPAA rating, it's like one thing is different from the last movie, and that's crude humor. And boy, did they overdo it with the humor in this movie.
The quote-unquote humor.
Sex humor. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about raunchy shit?
Oh God, it was so bad, man. There was nothing interesting about the character development. Like, there was no further character development for Bert and Jamie Kennedy. It was like, it ended literally the exact same as the last one, with the exact same dialogue even. And
they did so much with the last one too. Like, there was legitimate world building in the last one.
And growth, and they started the YouTube thing, the show that they completely cut out of this entirely.
Yeah, which is what made so much of the humor land in the last one, was that reality show aspect.
And go ahead, Brian.
Is this a spoiler review, or should we save spoilers for later?
Yeah, let's not spoil it, just in case people want to watch it.
Okay, I'll just say there's a certain character you guys probably know that it does kind of world build a little bit, but that's more like going back towards the building of the character.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I guess it's.
We'll just call her Val.
Yeah, there's. Well, I mean, that's. I guess that's not a spoiler. Like, if there's one thing. It might have been a fun reveal, but it's not a spoiler to say that one of the characters is supposedly the daughter of Rhonda LeBeck and Valentine McKee from the first movie. All they do is name check them over and over again, and there's no actual like footage or anything like that. So of course there wouldn't be, but that felt like it was just reaching for something to hang its hat on in this movie, and. Yeah. It was so bad, man. So the story is something is happening in the Arctic north of Canada, and it's like
it's actually South Africa.
Yeah, it's actually filmed in South Africa, but well, that's what's so dumb. It starts off on the quote unquote ice and snow, and there's an attack in the ice and snow where they're like, this shouldn't be possible. And then we never have another attack on the ice and snow ever for the rest of the movie.
We do, however, get an attack on the water, not showing anything.
That's not ice and snow. I'm saying, like, it started. They sold the movie as like ice graboids and stuff like that.
But I'm saying that they were trying to have this one be the first one with a water attack graboid, or a graboid attack in the water. Even though the fifth one was supposed to have that. And in this one, they had it, but they didn't show you anything.
No. Well, it wasn't a water attack. It was still underground. I mean, it just was a puddle. Yeah.
And there was actually a lot of attacks in this where they didn't show any graboid action.
Tons of them. Like, I think this was specifically meant to, like, it felt like it was made for Sci-Fi Channel. It really did. Like, there was next to no gore outside of graboid blood every now and again. It was just, you know, severed limbs that looked faker than all, like, hell. Like, oh my god. But
yeah, pulled through the window, and just.
Speaking of sci-fi, did you guys know they're making a TV series?
Did you know they?
No, they just canceled
the
it.
TV series?
I was just gonna say, yeah, they canceled it.
Yeah, no, of course we've been on top of that for the news every week, but yeah, no, they canceled it, and they started releasing photos that made me fucking more excited about that than this piece of garbage.
I think they're releasing the photos because they're trying to get somebody else to pick it up.
They should, because he looked good as an older Valentine, like that hasn't really gotten much farther than he was.
And
was
the
like
statue of him on the graboid like he's riding a horse was hilarious, man. And they got little Valentine action figures and stuff, and yet we're talking about something else besides this damn movie.
Yeah, and Fred was supposed to come back too.
Yeah, Fred Ward.
Rumored, supposedly,
rumored.
But anyway, so there's this ice graboid attack supposedly, and then there's a random student there with the scientists that just happens to be a huge Burt Gummer fan, and so she somehow has his number, and they call and summon him out to handle ice graboids in Canada.
Back in perfection, ironically.
And which is now apparently the Walter Chank's Market is the only building in all of perfection. There's nothing else in the establishing shot. Everything else is not only gone and leveled, but like as though it was never there, because clearly it wasn't, because they built Chank's Market in a more convenient place in South Africa for that shot.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, this is where there was probable incongruity, because the Tremors TV series was supposed to take place in perfection.
Right.
So that's obviously conflicting stuff, and these two, they weren't going to be able to exist aside from each other.
So
those
stupid.
Inconsistencies.
I will admit that it was kind of funny whenever they brought up Val, because whenever they brought up Val, they're saying he was a deadbeat, and I took that as he never came back to the series after the first one, so you can't depend on him.
Yeah.
I guess that meta joke is kind of funny, but all the actual jokes were not, which is a big problem.
And then when he decides he wants to come back, like they're like, nope, sorry.
And everyone's laughing at the whole, my balls are as big as, like, that's not funny.
That's not funny at all. That was so over the top and forced.
So, like, if you follow the Tremors Facebook page, they have those, like, you know, those little blips of clips with words that pop up in front of them, and they have that scene over and over again. My balls are big as steel. Like, that's not funny.
So dumb.
And then they even had the balls going back and forth.
Yeah, and then oh god, so they go out, and when they arrive, they're like, everyone is talking about how hot it is. They're like, oh my god, it's the warmest summer in the Arctic ever. It's like, no, it's because you're in South Africa. You're clearly not in the Arctic North, because no, you're not.
I thought they still filmed it in Canada, but no.
I was like, look, maybe it was still Canada, but it wasn't nearly green enough. Like, it was so dumb.
Now they're planning on making a Tremors 7, apparently.
Yeah,
Michael Gross's Facebook fan page, he said they might make another one.
Yeah, I hope, you know.
We talked on the news about it.
I was gonna say I hope not after this, but I like Tremors enough. But Jesus, they need to rein it back. Like, now every graboid jumps out of the soil to attack. Like, none of them attack from underneath anymore. Like, they all are like breaching the surface like great white sharks. It's freaking crazy.
Kind of crazy.
Shall we say we need to go back to perfection?
No, we shouldn't say that at all, Brian. So yeah, no, that's the story. Then they encounter 2 ass blasters and a few actual worms, and then they finally actually do show you something that they don't touch on again for the rest of the movie, which is during the water attack, the girl steps on some eggs, and you know, it doesn't clarify that they were actually graboid eggs, but the fluid inside is the same color as the graboid blood. So
no, I was trying to remember if they had ever shown graboids as reproducing with eggs before or not.
They showed fossilized graboids in the second movie. And when they're like, oh, they've been around forever, you know.
I liked the second movie, the one down in Mexico. That one was good.
That was good.
I like that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, that one had Fred Ward in it still, at least him and Bird.
But even the ass blaster looked ridiculous compared to the ass blaster in the last movie. The ass blaster in the last movie was so cool.
Were so much better in the last one, dude.
Yeah.
They really genuinely
and like,
were.
sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
So there was actually deleted scenes on the 5th one. They had an underwater graboid attack with the graboid. You could see it underwater, but it was only what do you call it? When they have the frames, they're hand drawn everything like sketchboards.
Oh, storyboards, yeah.
Storyboards, and so I was hoping they'd have something like that in this one, but they totally went cheapened out on a lot of things in this movie.
Everything was cheap in this movie, and I think the biggest problem is that the 5th one did really well, and then they're like, oh, we got to crank out another one, and so while they had a decade between the 4th and the 5th one, they cranked this one out, and
in 3 years.
It felt... Well, it felt like less than 3 years. Really? Jesus, the last one came out 3 years ago or 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2015. Same year as Jurassic World.
Well, it was about 2.5 years ago, because I think it was like October for that one.
Yeah.
This one was finished, and then they delayed it, remember, because it was originally coming out in 2016.
Yeah, so it was a 2-year turnaround, man, and that's never good for a creature feature that... You know, that's Sharknado shit almost. You know, Sharknado's once a year, but still.
Felt like to me.
Yeah, it did. You never know exactly when they started. You know, like they could have started a year ago, bro. You know.
Yeah, exactly, and it really showed. It showed that it was rushed. It showed that there was no budget, especially compared to the last one, and there was no scripting. Like, I mean, obviously there was a script, but there was no character development. I actually cared about the chick that kind of was into Jamie Kennedy in the last one, the South African girl. Like, I thought that was a cool little plot, and like just the back and forth between Jamie Kennedy and Bert in this one was just abysmal. Like,
especially with how great it was in the last one. Their dynamic was fun and just feisty and
something different in the franchise.
Yeah.
Now the effects. Yeah, go ahead, Brian. What were you gonna say?
Like, I forgot what I was gonna say actually.
Oh, right.
It's a forgettable film.
Well, I was gonna say the effects. I mean, the effects are just trash.
Some of the worst in the series. Although I did like where they trapped the graboid, and
I didn't like that it was the mouth was just open. The mouth was just wide open the whole time. Even that, like, if the 3 mandibles were like at least clacking against the cage, it would have looked less like a giant doll. But the whole time it looked like a giant doll.
Like in the special features, they were saying, "Oh, we have this huge puppet, like a mechanical puppet that's in the film to throw back to the old movies." Like, no, not even close.
You had a giant puppet that didn't move, maybe because it just
spit.
Literally.
That's about it.
It spit, but that's it. It didn't. Oh my god, it was so dumb.
Like, the funny thing is when Jamie went inside the mouth. I won't tell you why. It looked more real than the outside.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
and that's the part that I was kind of referring to, you know, where he was trying to extract the...
Oh, yeah, it was so bad. And then the completely, like, apparently at one point during this, you find out that Bert has been infected with some sort of graboid virus.
Yeah, that was a dumb...
Which doesn't make any sense.
From Tremors 3, which was like, what, 15 years ago?
Yeah, and they said it's a slow release virus.
It's
like
just now manifesting itself.
Like, no, and so what? Did he inhale some of it? Is that what happened? Like,
it's not a tumor.
Oh my
It's
god,
not a tumor.
it was so bad, so bad. Oh, I hated this movie.
Top to bottom, this movie.
I hated this movie.
Really upset me.
I can't stand that I hated this movie, but I hated this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I give it more props than you guys are, but still, that's just the Tremors fan of me, pretty much speaking. So
look, I'm a Tremors fan too. That's why it's so disappointing that this is trash.
I mean, like from my perspective, like I used to love parts 1 to 4, and now that 5 and 6 come out, it's like something totally different and new. And then I came back, I'm like 3 is okay, 4 is.
I actually like 4.
I like 4 better.
Yeah, I don't hate 4. I think it's about as good as part 3, but maybe a little bit better.
What about the series?
I love the series, the original series with
the original from Sci-Fi.
Yeah, that was actually pretty fun with all the different creatures and stuff.
I definitely put that above this.
Yeah, I'd probably place it if I were to rank them. It'd have to be like bottom of the barrel, probably this one, and the top 3 would probably be 5, 2, and 1, and the TV series right before 5.
Yeah. I mean, we may need to do a Tremors ranking video at some point here, Fuego.
You know how well the ranking videos do for the Codys and the Lees.
Exactly. So,
dude,
we'll do that.
Yeah, which we don't do. We don't.
This
do
was rough,
videos.
guys. I don't even want to keep talking about it.
Yeah, it was a bummer, man.
One more thing we got to mention though is the cover. Did you see what Jamie looks like?
Oh, I've got it up. I've got the poster up here. I've had it up the whole time.
If you take a close look at Jamie's face, he looks like he's totally on something.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Jamie.
He's looking freaked out. Like, oh my god,
don't look like that. Like, it's so stupid.
Yeah, the cover
art's always ridiculous.
He looks like he's like trying to say, "I'm on a box, dude. I am on a box."
I was gonna say they don't really have teeth like that.
No, they don't.
No, I hate it. I hate it. I don't like it. All right, not much else to say about it. Brian, do you have any final thoughts on Tremors: A Cold Day in Hell?
Currently, I give it a 2.5 out of 5.
I would not give this more than a 1.5 or a 2 out of 5.
I'd say
at
2.
most.
I'd say 2 out of 5.
Yeah, 2 out of 5 is the highest I'll go on this piece of shit.
I still had fun with it. Like I know a lot of it was really dumb, but there were some parts that were kind of like exciting. So.
I couldn't have any fun with it. It was
there were a couple chuckle parts for me.
Oh, really?
I don't think I hated it as much as Cecil did, but I really didn't like it.
Dude, I didn't chuckle once. I was like, this is just.
I was laughing at how dumb some of the things were.
Yeah, just to put it into perspective, I gave the lowest one, Tremors 3, for me, like a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay, well that does put it in perspective a bit.
I definitely had more fun with Back to Perfection than I did with this.
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys, I'm gonna call it there.
there.
That's fucking. This is just so bad. Anyway, yeah, thanks very much for watching. Let us know in the comments down below if you're actually going to watch this, if you did watch this. It's available on Netflix, so don't pay $14.99 for a Blu-ray like I did, like
don't
a dipshit.
Don't even spend $4.99 on YouTube.
Like, how am I supposed to know? I was extremely happy with my purchase of 5.
No,
so how was I to know 6 was
going
going
to
to be
pleasantly
garbage?
surprised by 5, though.
What?
And we were both pleasantly surprised by 5.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, how was I to know this was not going to be worth purchasing when 5 was?
The same director, the same duo, Jaime Kennedy and,
Well, I mean, the director of these two movies also directed Lake Placid, the final chapter. Like,
oh god, oh that was war. That was terrible too.
Yeah. Directed Who's Your Caddy?
Oh, all right, I'm done. They need a new director then. I'll step in. I'll step in. All right.
So it's not fair. You paid 14. I paid like 18. I pre-ordered those. So.
Oh yeah, never do that. All right. Well, let us know in the comments down below. By the way, Best Buy price matches Amazon. Just so you know. So yeah, watch. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys think of this one. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I've been Jaime Fuego.
I'm Brian Gatto.
And we have another review to record with him as soon as we can on another extraordinarily disappointing horror movie. So look forward to that.
It's going to be a little bit longer, I guess.
Thanks very much, guys. And remember, stay scared.
Of this movie.